2. Let me know if you can hear me. Audio check 1, audio check 2. Let me know if you can hear me. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Exit it and come back. Good afternoon. It's a challenging day, but we're trying to work things out. Let us know. I have issue with the audio, so I had to turn it off and come back. And I have to use the sound because it has noise cancellation, and it's 5 o'clock, so we can definitely not record at the office. So I have to do this at home. Once I get a bigger house, I'll probably get. So if there is something wrong with the audio, I think it's the internet. All right, I think we are better. We are good now. So I want to start by apologizing for the audio mix-up. It's due to the fact that this is definitely situation beyond our control. Thank you for staying tuned. I really appreciate this. I'll probably work very hard to ensure that it doesn't happen. So I'm sweating. I apologize. I'm sweating. All right. Thank you very much. I want to start by saying, Mr. Akin Yemisola, thank you very much for calling my attention to this. We're supposed to have a backup studio where we hear this. Please play it. Let me hear. So um, I think I was because we're on solar, we're on inverter. You can turn off the TV now. All right. So I was actually talking about the truth about real estate cashback, or many people know it as um, property cashback or buyback scheme. Okay, so before I had that little technical issue, I am going to be having this in series. So by the special grace of God, God willing, we'll do this tomorrow. But I just need to lend my voice to this so that we can have a thorough understanding. Now, when you are doing a real estate cashback, okay, a real estate cashback is like you are a shareholder of a particular estate, not like a total shareholder, but a particular shareholder. Now, the way it works basically is that some companies give investors an opportunity to buy a portion, not everything. You can buy a portion of an estate. Okay. Now, when you buy into that portion, okay, what the developer will do or what the company will do is that they will help you trade that portion of that property that you have bought through cashback. And after a while, they will sell that portion, okay? They will return your investment with interest. I'm going to explain it again. Now, anybody going into a buyback scheme, you are more or less like buying a share, like the way they list it in the Nigerian stock market. Many of us are very, very familiar with Amazon share, Apple shares, and the likes. And when you buy into that shares, okay, you are bought into a portion of that brand, into that company. So the way the real estate cashback work in Nigeria basically is that you are buying a segment of that company, okay, and they are going to trade with it, and over some time. Hello.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir. It's Mommy Wisdom.
Please, I'm on live session. Can I call you back, please?
All
I'll call you in the evening. I apologize for that. All right. So the way it works is that you are buying a portion of that company. You are buying a portion of that estate. Now, after you have bought, the developer will help you trade that portion in the real estate market. Now, after they have sold that portion, they will sell it back to you. Okay. and you will make profits. Now, a lot of people have come to this conclusion that real estate cashback is a Ponzi scheme. And a lot of people have said, just like what has happened to every other Ponzi scheme, okay, that it may crash or it may have issues, just like everything. Now, what I want you to understand as a real estate investor basically is that as far as this buyback scheme thing is, okay, there are levels and there are a lot of exposures that guarantees whether it will be successful or it will be a total failure. And this is one of the things I'll be explaining very in this live session. It's going to be very brief. It's going to be direct. And if you have questions, you can ask questions. You can direct it at me. Now, I also invested in cashback, and I think I've done it repeatedly now. But because of the fact that it is our money is not that big, so we don't do um, large amount of money. But I also invested in cashback. Now, before I could put in my 1 million into the real estate cashback, there were some certain things that I studied, and I'll be explaining my observation and my own discovery today, so that you'll understand that as far as this buyback scheme is, the reason why some companies have succeeded is because they seem to understand how to manage money. Because you see, what many real estate investors don't understand basically is that I know a real estate development company that is well known and is actively how do I say it now, is actively involved in this cashback. In fact, I may be wrong, I stand to be corrected. Basically, it's due to the fact that he has concentrated majorly on this buyback thing more than, of course, he also said lands and houses and stuff. But from my own observation, okay, I stand to be corrected. He has focused majorly on this buyback thing, and he has been doing this repeatedly now for 4 years without any issue, and it's amazing. Now, what determines a successful buyback scheme? Like I said, this video is going to be very brief, so I would appreciate you pay attention to. Now, you see, the reason why many investors are going into buyback is due to the fact that so many real estate development companies have failed to live up to expectation. Now, when I talk about failing to live up to expectation, it's due to the fact that a lot of the model of real estate activities in Lagos changed drastically. Okay, as the introduction of this buyback scheme came into the scene rather. Now, the way it used to be basically is that some companies buy large portion of land, they sell it to you, they promise you heaven and earth. Some even promise 24 hours electricity that common sense told us that nobody's even enjoying 24 hours electricity. So basically, so what happened basically is that after you've bought into the estate, you have bought into the property, you don't get to hear anything again. So it's more or less like you have tied down your money in a project that is not giving you returns. And it seems that every other real estate development company are following the same pattern. Sure, you understand. So I've seen instances whereby people put 300 millions in buying acres of land. I've seen people buying large chunks of land, and after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you don't get to see anything. So a lot of people felt a little bit disappointed with the model of real estate activities. Okay, so the idea of cashback basically is for you to own a portion of that property, and you have the guaranteed that after some period of time you can get back your investments and you get back your return. So, and I've also said this, now when it comes to cashback or buyback, now the first thing I need you to understand as a real estate investor is that there is no investment that is not risky. So I'm going to start by that. Even life is surrounded by risk. More importantly, if you live in the portion of this part of Africa where there are so many uncertainties. Now, what determines or what differentiates, okay, a good someone who is into real estate cashback basically is due to the fact that as far as real estate investment is concerned, okay, our risk appetite differs. It differs. So unlike the land banking, the off plan, the agro real estate that you have to wait for a long period of time, buyback can give you a return as early as even 6 months. So I would say that the real estate cashback is similar to the money market, the mutual funds, and the stocks, like I said at the commencement of this video. Now, I will try as much as I can to explain how this real estate development company generates the return they pay investors. Now, it is from this explanation now that you'll be able to understand why some succeeded and while others failed. So I want you to pay close attention to it. So there's a lot of similarities to the mutual funds, the money markets, and the stocks. The only difference basically is that some offers the return differs. I know a lot of real estate investors who put in hundreds of millions into real estate cashback. In fact, shockingly, is that what is that what correct? I apologize. I said shockingly. Now I know a colleague of mine that took a proposal of real estate cashback to some companies, even in MTN and other companies, and I can tell you that they have billions in cashback. There are companies, top companies. Disclaimer: I didn't mention MTN. I'm just trying to say companies like MTN and some other things. So a lot of people have gone to corporate societies. They've gone to other places, and these companies, some of these big names, invest billions into that cashback. So the cashback that many people know is attracting investors even from different aspects of the economy. So the first thing we need to understand is that why do we have sudden interest of real estate investors in cashback than other real estate investments? Now, I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. And the truth basically is that when it comes to real estate investments, our risk appetite differs. Now, does that mean that Property Matters, King's Court Property, Mr. Dijari, is endorsing real estate cashback? Or are you saying that I should pick up my phone and talk to that realtor or probably talk to me concerning real estate cashback? Am I giving an automatic endorsement to it? Is it risky? What is the risk ratio of this? So I will explain that. Now, when it comes to real estate cashback, some companies have failed woefully. So the real estate buyback thing became more popular as early as 2023, 2024. In fact, it was very, very dominant, and some new real estate development companies quickly jumped at it without understanding the terminologies and the structure that guarantees a successful or how it operates. So that is the thing. Now, I know a lot of companies that did buyback, and a lot of real estate investors had to go through legal means for them to even get back their investments. So when it comes to cashback, it's just a case of this scripture. Apologies to non-Christian viewers. They say many are called, few are chosen. So it's a case of when it comes to buyback, three things ensures its success. Three important things ensures its success. Now I'm going to give Now, the reason why I'll not be mentioning company's name on this particular live session is that um, the moment I mention that name, it automatically, many people see it as I automatically giving an endorsement. Now, let me quickly say this. I invested in cashback. I've done it twice, and I've gotten my investment and my return. Okay, and the issue basically is that uh, am I giving a go ahead? Now, like I said at the commencement of this video, our risk appetite differs. So I need to start that. So if you are the kind of person that you don't trust uh, African, because in fact I've had interactions with a whole lot of people, and the moment they hear come and invest in Africa like this, they won't even wait to hear the content of the investment. They say no, no. So I understand. I understand the reason why many people might probably be looking at it from that perspective. Now, why has some companies cashback has been huge success? Now, I must say this. I must say this. Some reputable real estate development companies have been doing cashback, some for 3 years, some for 4 years, and there have never been a case of I didn't get my money, I didn't get my investment. And there are some that they've done it that the whole Mr. Scott Iguma has been calling their names online. And what exactly determines the success and the rates? Number one, if you want to be successful in cashback, you must have a structure that will automatically generate funds. Now, if you look at those big real estate companies, okay, that have succeeded massively in this real estate cashback, is that they have a large marketing structure that guarantees the continual inflow of revenue. Like, let me explain what I meant by the continual inflow of revenue. Now, the way this thing works is that some companies promise return for 6 months, some promise return in 12 months, some promise return in 18 months, and others promise return in 24 months. And you will also observe that the longer your return, okay, the higher the interest you are paid. And what are the things that may indicate danger if you are doing real estate cashback? The first thing you need to understand is that kudos to government. Okay, I think the government have asked most of these companies to have a security certificate, a registration with government, so that if there are issues concerning payment of return and the likes, government can easily way into it and resolve this. So I'll say kudos to government who have successfully enacted that and implemented that policy. However, whenever I'm making presentation, I always say my own mind. The reason why these particular two companies have succeeded in this cashback is that they have multiple projects that they are running at the same time. So if a developer is selling a cashback and he doesn't have projects that can give him consistent inflow, there will be issue with that cashback. I'll give instance of AY Homes. Now, AY Homes have been doing this cashback consistently. I have investors who bought cashback from AY, who are presently doing cashback from AY Homes. Now, one solid thing I've studied about AY Homes basically is that number one, they have a large marketing base. Number two, they have projects in places that can consistently generate income for them. They have a structure and a system that can consistently multiply your investment with them. When it comes to doing cashback, you must understand the structure that gains, or the structure that regulates the inflow. Now, someone was asking me, I think a few weeks ago, and I think she was about going for one of AY Home cashback thing, and she said, "Why should I go for AY Homes?" I said, "Number one, AY Homes have a structure. They have a Their biggest project is in Omole Phase One, and their cheapest 300 square meter is over 250 million." I said, with a developer with that kind of project, your money cannot be stuck. So you must understand that what consistently brings in revenue must consistently generate, and that's why you understand that most of these development have projects in areas where they cannot be stopped. The second thing is that some of the estates, some of the properties that are being used for this cashback are well documented properties. They are well documented properties. So in a situation whereby maybe there's a cash hunt or something, they can quickly use those property to secure whether high or low interest loan from banks to pay investors. So for that kind of development company, they have been able to structure a system, okay, that can ensure that the inflow of revenue and cash is guaranteed. Number two is that they also have a large client base. They have a large client base. So they always have a product that regularly ensures inflow of revenue into the company. Now, I was giving an instance that I know some couple of people who have 100. There are people, I know people who have billions in real estate cashbacks. They have billions. So you might be wondering how they've been able to pay. I've just explained some of the things they are doing. So the moment you go into the cashback, okay, they give you a contract of sale, they give you a post-dated check, okay, they give you every information, and they give you a time frame. Okay, your investment is going to be done. So what they do basically is that your investment into that cashback is invested in properties. They invest it in projects. I'm not just talking about any kind of project. I'm talking about projects that consistently brings in revenue into the company. And mind you, the process of investing some of these things is giving them good return. And the reason for that basically is that they have high or large number of clients, they have large marketing groups, and they have corporate events and gatherings, and they've been able to earn the public's trust. So all these factors are some of the reasons why some of these cashback companies have been successful. Number two, why? Let's go to the B part of this live session. Why did some companies fail with this cashback? Number one, they did not understand the system. Now, the point basically is that, I mentioned this at the commencement of this video, and I said in 2023, 2024, there were a lot of real estate development companies who were doing this cashback thing. Even some companies that they are not even up to a year or two in the market, and they were promising mouth-watering incentives, they were promising mouth-watering return. Do you understand? And a lot of people called me to know whether I know someone in that company or there's somebody I can call their attention to, because their money was stuck in that investment. And because of that, people lost trust in this cashback thing. Now, they failed. Number one, they didn't understand the structure. Number two, they don't have a large client base. Number three, they did not have the street credibility. Nobody is endorsing them. Number four, they don't even have well documented projects that can generate inflow of cash. And number five, they jumped into it because they heard that it was profitable. And that's why majority people failed in this cashback. Now, what is my recommendation? Now, like I said it at the commencement, I did real estate cashback. And by the future, once I'm able to sort out some of the projects I'm doing, if not this year, by 2026, if Jesus tarries, I'm going to invest in cashback. Now, why has some people dominated this cashback thing? Why have some of these real estate development companies have decided to just face it, squarely? Like, since they've been able to gain public trust, a lot of people are putting on their um resources, and these companies have been able to establish some level of transparency. Okay, that, and of course, the way they do it basically is that everything is transparent. Once you make payment, they confirm your payment. They give you they give you a contract of cashback. They explain the strategy. They give you a post-dated check. Once your maturity has yielded, they will even really want to notify you that your investment is yield. And what they do most times, so they say rollover. Okay, the rollover basically is that instead of you investing another thing or increasing your investment, you just roll over that investment. They pay you your interest. You continue the cycle like that. So, if your risk appetite is high and you understand some of these um, things I've explained, and you are the kind of person that you are tired of waiting ceaselessly for your real estate investment to grow, and it seems nothing is happening, the real estate buyback scheme might be an alternative. However, it's for risk takers. Now, a lot of people have asked me, risk takers, what do I mean? You see, one of the things I've come to realize, like me, I do buyback. And like I said, I am going to do it as long as I have the funds to do so. Not just because of the fact that I understand the way the system works or I have been into it for a time. Basically, for me as an individual. Now, for instance, I've seen instances, I had an interaction with someone I met recently, and she told me she bought a house. I think around that dangote for almost, I think, 180 or 200 million. She told me that the money she used, in buying the house was her investment from one of these real estate cashback that she's doing. So there are some people that they grow their revenue, grow their revenue, grow their revenue. So once their revenue has gotten to a particular maturity level, or once the revenue can, successfully buy any property of their choice, they withdraw it, they put it to that revenue. So some people use this real estate cashback as a way of raising funds for doing a lot of things. So, like I said, it's an alternative for you to just buying bush, leaving it for years, for you to appreciate. So the difference between buying bush and real estate cashback is that you are just investing. The developer handles everything. The only thing you just do is to earn. So if your risk appetite is high, now the reason I'm saying risk appetite is that I am not predicting that it will fail. Though a lot of people have, of course, I know most of us have know Mr. Bond. He has given his own analysis on why he thinks it's not sustainable, which I believe everybody have, entitled, they are entitled to their opinion. Okay, he has cited things, and I'll say to an extent, I've always agreed with Mr. Bond on some certain things, but he seemed not to understand how some of these companies are. They've been able to do it consistently for 4 years. Okay, for 4 years they've been paying investors and doing everything. So if your risk appetite is high, and you know basically that it's a good one, but and your risk appetite is high, you can go into it now. But because of the fact that I have seen the model, okay, the level of transparency and the asset base of some real estate development companies, Now, if you are doing real estate cashback, you need to be mindful of the assets that the company have. You need to be mindful of the assets. Assets in the sense that in a situation whereby they might experience one or two challenges, how many have assets do they have at that point that they can liquidate to cash and pay investors? Because you see, you need to understand that in this kind of situation, liquidity of assets and the time at which the asset is being liquidated is very, very important. So, and that is why sometimes if I'm investing, like the one I did, it was with AY Homes, and I've also done with Xylot too, and their level of transparency is amazing, very, very amazing. They are transparent, they give you regular updates, let you know. And once it's time, what I love about these two companies basically is that they will be the one, okay, to notify you when your investment has reached maturity. So there's a question I got when we were out of audio, and the question basically is that someone asked me, is this sustainable? Is this sustainable? A lot of people have asked me that question. Is it actually sustainable? Is it something that I can say, okay, fine, I want to put my entire livelihood in? Okay, and so I will still make reference back to what I said at the commencement of this video. Basically, is that our risk appetite differs. So, in situation whereby you know that, because there are some risk that you take that ends up to be a good risk, and there are some risk that you will blame yourself that why on earth did I actually got myself involved in that. So, like I said, our risk appetite differs. So it's a thing of understanding. But the most important thing is that if you must do a real estate cashback, do it with companies that have assets, good asset base, and of course companies that have been verified by the Nigerian security. I think there's an organization that has been certified with them. So once certified them with them, and there are issues of, okay, maybe there's delayed or they've been able to pay, the government, appropriate government authorities wade into that situation, look at what could be. If it's something that can be redeemed, of course they will allow the company to go ahead with their magic. In a situation whereby, if the situation now becomes irredeemable, of course they liquidate cash and investors are paid. So what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people have been able to establish or maintain some level of transparency in this entire cashback thing. However, don't do it with all companies. So there are two companies that have been doing it, and they have studied their organizational structure. In fact, one of them even have a subsidiary company that is majorly into that. By they registered a company, okay, and what they do basically is that they monitor investment assets and cashback. So because I nobody paid me for ad, I won't mention their name. So there are still some companies that are 100% reliable that you can, partner with in this real estate cashback. The most important thing is that don't put all your livelihood. Okay, if because you see, I've studied. I'm not a greedy person. Basically, I tell you the way things are. I tell you the way things are. Now the thing is that the return on investment is very, very mouth. It's not just mouth watering, it is jaw dropping. So we should look at, okay, in 6 months, if I put this amount, let's say I'm putting like 6 million, and in 6 months, 6 million is giving me, let's say, 6.8 or 7 million. It's a good investment, okay? And you look at it, okay, if I should do it for 1 year, it's giving me this, it's giving me this, okay? There are some people that, because of the return, they ignore what could be the appropriate danger or hidden danger that most times are not reviewed at the commencement of this. So basically, you want to understand this, and people are hoping for it. So why do I have to just tie my money down in a project whereby real estate buyback can multiply my money and give me good return? So it's a thing of personal decision. Now, is it a risk worth taking? Well, I won't say yes, I won't say no. I took it anyway. But what I did basically is that I didn't put my entire earnings there. I don't. So what I did at the first time was I used 1 million naira to test the waters to see. if it is truly sustainable. And I did it twice. And the reason why I've not done it for the third time basically is because I have a lot of expenses. So the money went somewhere. But by the time I'm able to get lay my hands on some cash, I will go back there. Now that is for me. Now you as a person, you as an individual may say, okay, this is not a risk worth taking. So we differs. There are, like I said, there are people who have billions there. There are people who have hundreds of millions there. And there are people that they've been rolling over their investments for the past 2 3 years that this scheme or this real estate cashback has been happening. So it's a kind of the thing is that will you get your return? If you work with the right developer company, yes, you will. But if you know your risk appetite is very low, don't go into it. Okay, don't. If you know that everything about you um radiates doubt and the likes, yes, you can choose not to go into it. So this is where I'm going to draw the curtain of today's topic on real estate cashback. So I'm going to be opening the lines for questions. Please, if you have inquiries or questions based on what I've said before or what I intend to say in our subsequent video, you can drop a comment. Let's have an interaction on today's live session. And I want to say a very big thank you to everybody that has been joined. If you are new to this channel, you may definitely want to consider subscribing, and that's just it. Consider subscribing, and let's have an interaction. So I have some couple of questions here. So I've answered one of them. Now, I there was a question in my previous video that was raised by Mr. Shufura. I gave me the permission to mention his name. So the question is a little bit a deviation from what I was explaining, but I'll quickly look into that. So the man said, because when I in that particular video, I was talking about insecurity in Nigeria, and in that video, I was explaining some of the measures that has been put in place by government to ensure that people's investments are safe, that there are no issues. And and he said that for those who are going into farm, he was asking me that do I think this is the best time to go into farm, considering the increasing level of insecurity. The question actually came after I've actually ended that particular live session, but I will be addressing the question today, and I would also look at this. Now, the first thing basically that I would say, or my first response to that question basically is that farming in the southwest is a big business. It's a means of livelihood for some people or for several other people, and many people are thoroughly informed about the menace of the bandits and the likes. Now, in some places in the north, okay, there have been some scary reports of how these terrorists have invaded farmlands. They've stopped a lot of people from working, from farming. There are other alleged informations that some of these terrorists, some of the farmers, okay, that they pay tributes, they pay fine, they pay tithes. I said tithes. They pay tributes, they pay money, to some of these terrorists before they can be, allowed into their farm. And with the growing level of insecurity, Sashifora asked if it was a good time to go into farming. Well, the first thing you must understand is that the security architecture in the southwest, okay, is different from what we have in the north. So I'll start by explaining that. And the reason why I'm saying that basically is that the reason why insecurity have lingered very long, I'm going political. I promised myself I was not going to do that, but I just have to touch some aspect of politics so that I can, drive my message further. Now, the reason why terrorism has lingered very, very long time, for a very long time in the northeast, north central, northwest, is due to the fact that most of these things are politically motivated. So the first thing you must understand is that the southwest does not joke with its own security architecture. So, as I'm saying, because farming is a source of livelihood, farming is a multi-millionaire industry. So anybody that is going into farming will definitely take into cognizance that there might be possibility that these evil forces may want to parade. And one of the things I said in the previous video was that the it has not even happened in the southwest yet, but the southwest have empower their own security architecture to respond rapidly at any site. And there were some news that I received, and I'll say those news are very, very encouraging. And I would also say I want to commend, the southwestern leaders for this. A lot of southwestern leaders have mobilized their local vigilantes to go into the forest. There've been a lot of arrests of unknown for people in that region. Okay, and recently I saw a video of how the Lagos State government governor or the Lagos State government, okay, let me just say Lagos State government, are ejecting beggars, all these Hausa Fulani beggars, that because they believe that those are the people that link intel of um, the surroundings to some of these terrorists. So they are taking it. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that for those who are majorly into farming business, they will not stop their multi-million naira industry because of terrorism or because of kidnappings and crime. What they will do basically, that some have started, is that they have increased their security architecture just to protect lives and property. So for the fact that there is terrorism now, for the that is happening in Nigeria, you should be aware that farming is some people's livelihood, is some people's source of income, and they will do everything aggressively to protect it, even from foreign invasion. So that is why it's still a good idea if you must go into agriculture, because you see the longer you wait, the longer it takes, for you to reap, the return on investment. So is it a good time to go into farming? Yes, it is. If you have the resources to do so, invest into it. So you can go into cocoa farming. I talked about the next generation estate. I'll be sharing the video link on the comments of this video. I also talk about the palm bridge, which I am also an investor there. Then there are other farming projects that time will not afford me the luxury to mention. So I would definitely, I'm going to do another video talking about farming opportunities, what you should expect. So probably we're looking at that. If God tarries, by the special grace of God, tomorrow we'll look at that. I'll explain the modalities and some of the things. So southwestern southwesterners will not close their farm, they will not close their schools. What they will do is they will prepare for a possible attack, and trust me, they are ready. That is if it happens. But from what I've seen so far, I'd say the security architecture has been very, very amazing. And of course, we can go about our business. Even if there's an attack, trust me, the southwest security architecture is stronger. And that's due to the fact that a lot of investment has been made into that security architecture. So and of course, with the arrival of the new Minister of Defense, I'm very, very convinced that there will be tremendous report, because the Nigerian government have decided to go aggressive on some of these terrorists. So basically, it's not going to stop means of livelihood, and any terrorist that wants to invade southwestern farm, more importantly those projects, they can be rest assured that it's not going to be a bed of roses, just like they've had it in other places. All right, so I believe I've been able to answer the question. So the next question basically is on the real estate cashback. um there is this particular company I'm reading from this person. So this person said he doesn't want his name to be mentioned, so we're going to respect that. So he says, there's this real estate company I invested cash back with in 2022, and one of the reasons why I decided to stop was that before I could even get my investment back, I had to involve the police and other relevant law enforcement. Okay, okay. Okay, where do I start from? Okay, fine. I actually gave instance that if you are going majorly into real estate cashback, you definitely want to be mindful of the company you are dealing with, because the reason why you have to be mindful of the company is that it's not everybody that have the capacity to deliver. See, when it comes to real estate, it's more or less like a competition. So not everybody have the capacity the expertise, and of course the large client base to deliver. So if there is a need for you to go further into any form of real estate, it is very important that you dig deeper, look beyond the publicity, and just do your own personal research and be sure that what you're about to do will not end up in regret. So I want to say a very big thank you to everybody. It's like I said, it's going to be a short video. I think it's about 45 minutes video. By the special grace of God, I'll be here tomorrow, and I want to appreciate everybody that have joined this live session. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow by God's grace. Bye for now.